What's up, y'all? Straight to the point, sports and entertainment. Hit that like. Sub to the channel. Also hit them notifications so that we're able to get so you're able to get all my content, all of my videos too. Salute to all of the people that rock with me. And let's go ahead and get right to it. Now, again, shout out to the LDBC, basketball and boxing. You know how I get down. Now, um, I'm gonna talk about a couple things right now, uh, and I'm gonna start this out talking about the greatness of Giannis Antetokounmpo, aka the Greek Freak. Please hit that like when you come up in here. All right. Now, of course, man, the Bucks right now, they're 3-1. They're just coming off of a win versus the New York Knicks, who everybody anticipated the New York Knicks since the firing of Tom Thibodeau and the hiring of Mike Brown. Many people felt like the New York Knicks were going to take off, but that has not been the case. Uh, as a matter of fact, it's been other teams that have taken off and have soared, who a lot of people are surprised by. Um, One of the surprises, of course, is my squad, the Philadelphia 76ers, who I will get to in just a second, talking about a particular player um, that has had a strong impact. And the other team is the Milwaukee Bucks. Okay. Now, what's up with it, Cheyenne? I'll see you in the building, man. Please hit that like when you come in here, man. Appreciate the like. Now, the Bucks are 3-1 right now, okay? And Giannis is averaging 36, 36, 14, and 7. 36 points, 14 rebounds, 7 assists, and last night he had 37. Um, double machine, which is why earlier, I'm sorry about that. Later on, I'm going to dive into uh, a topic talking about the power forward position, in which I clearly stated that Rasheed Wallace is not a Hall of Famer. And many people try to get up here and tell me that Rasheed Wallace would be better than Giannis and all this other nonsense. Absolutely not, because a guy like Rasheed Wallace could never carry a team like a Giannis Antetokounmpo could. Okay, Giannis Antetokounmpo is in the discussion for MVP already. I know it's early in the season. I know it's only 4 games. However, this guy, man, has always been magnificent. And of course, Giannis is my favorite player in the league right now. I've stated that on several different occasions. I've taken a lot of hits um, because I like Giannis and everything like that. A lot of criticism about him, and he doesn't play this way, he don't play that way. Well, the nigga got a ring, okay? He got a couple MVPs. You know what I'm saying? Has a Finals MVP, has the Defensive Player of the Year award. He got it all. You know what I'm saying? All NBA defensive. You name it, he got it. Something else that Rasheed Wallace unfortunately does not have, and a perennial All-Star. Okay, like I said, y'all think I'm gonna stay on this Rasheed Wallace topic until I'm blue in the face. You know what I'm saying? Because uh, it's just something that has to be mentioned. Okay, and I have had this debate before with a couple people. Giannis versus this power forward, Giannis versus this center, and all this other stuff. But that ain't what we talking about. What we talking about right now is Giannis and what he's doing this season that is not being talked about. Another thing is, man, and I know some people gonna get mad. They gonna get in their feelings when I say this. Dame is not in Giannis's way anymore. Okay, it has to be said. Dame was a distraction for Giannis. Okay, when Dame had came over there, look, Dame, he's a tremendous player. Okay, he's a tremendous player. Now, do I think he should be in the top 75? Absolutely not. He shouldn't be in no top 75 at all. Okay, in my opinion. Okay, because if you're gonna put Dame in the top 75, there's several other players that should be in there that have accomplished a lot more than Dame, and one of them happens to be, of course, Dwight Howard. Honest, uh, he seems more refreshed. He's more revitalized. Uh, Giannis seemed like he's on a mission. He's more on a mission this year. Uh, he's he has always been the type to come in with something different every single season, despite what others may say. Okay, I know several other guys have been talking about Giannis, but I wanted to save some time to talk about Giannis because, like I said, I am a true Giannis Antetokounmpo supporter. This guy right here never needed Dame, okay? And I always said that it was a bad idea from the get, okay? The Bucks, they can actually do something. I think the Bucks right now are showing that they can actually beat a team like the Cleveland Cavaliers, who are heavily overrated, okay, in my opinion, because the Cavs have always shown, okay, yeah, well, not always, but they shown this season or last season that, oh yeah, well, we're winning all the games and stuff like that. And then next thing you know, guess what? They get to the playoffs. It's like they forgot how to play basketball, or these guys forgot how to stay healthy. But I think that Giannis is on a mission. Of course, he's 100% healthy now. He's back. Like I said, he's revitalized. He's rejuvenated. He's gotten a chance to. Well, he's got a couple. Like a year or two with these guys that he has around him up under his belt. I also am interested in seeing how it's gonna work. With a guy like Kuzma. Kuzma is a guy, man, that I really wanted to take off, man, being that he's in a different situation now. I think Kyle Kuzma had got lost, what I'm saying, with him being, over there at the Wizards and everything like that. But then it's like he's found a newfound home over there with the Bucks. Now, they might have not went as far as where some people have wanted him to go last season, but he was just getting acclimated. Now, uh, the Bucks are really showing that they could be a force in the league. Now, led by Giannis, okay, I don't really know what their projection is. Of course, we got to face them. We got to go at them. So I certainly don't want the Bucks beating us. But if they happen to beat us, I would be rooting for Giannis because, to me, Giannis deserves another championship. But Giannis's mentality, he's not going to sit up there and he's not going to cheat the game. He's not going to do any injustice to the game. I mean, there's been some times when we kind of frowned upon Giannis, and we've been like, man, he's done some questionable things and stuff. But for the most part, he's always been good to the game, and that's why I respect Giannis. Uh, when we talk about getting it out the mud, not begging, not bending, not breaking, not folding, none of that. He didn't leave. All this stuff about Giannis. Shout out to the brother Ticket TV for putting that out there, as well as Too Raw for TV, and as well as for 78 Sports, all the head honchos of the LDBC. They have been saying constantly about Giannis, these Giannis narratives that they're pushing, saying that he's going to leave, he's going to go to New York, or he's going to go to Golden State, and he's going to go. No, Giannis ain't going nowhere. Okay, Giannis ain't going nowhere. He's too loyal. He's loyal to the soil. You see that he's still there. He's standing 10 toes down, and he's been magnificent. Okay, so last time I checked, he's got a Larry O'Brien, right? Last time I checked, he has other accolades. You know that many people don't. How many people can you say? In this very few, this very few decorated, few individuals that have an MVP and a defensive player of the year in the same season. And Victor Wembanyama is on pace to possibly do that. Maybe even Giannis. Maybe Giannis might do it again. The way that he's playing because he's playing both ends of the floor, but that remains to be seen. I don't want to get too ahead of myself. Things do take place, but I like what the Bucks are doing. Giannis has came in with a refreshed, renewed mind. We'll see how that definitely plays a factor. But I want Giannis to be successful, man, because in my opinion, I think that Giannis right now, had he not had the distractions and some of the injuries that he's had, I think that Giannis would possibly have about 3 championships right now. I think that he would have been in more finals. I think that having Dame there was just a big distraction. I know some people thought that there was one guy that I talked to, a personal friend of mine. He said that Giannis and Dame were going to win a championship right off the bat, and I said that this isn't going to work. Yeah, yeah. Dame was gonna drive Giannis insane, and you see how it played out. First off, Dame, it seemed like he got hurt at the wrong time. You know what I'm saying? Now, last season, we know what happened. It was the blood clots. I hope he recovers. He's back over there in Portland and everything. But nevertheless, it was always either bad shooting, poor shooting, and poor shot selection. Him being a liability on defense. It was many different factors in which Giannis was looking at this guy like, man, what is going on? You know what I'm saying? I didn't sign up. I didn't sign up for this. He was probably like Michael Blackson. Man, I can't get jiggy with this. I'm on my African shit today. I can't get talk about Bona later. He's like, man, I can't get jiggy with this shit. He was probably saying that shit. He was like, man, he's like, damn, man, what the fuck? I didn't sign up for this. I thought I was going to get a guy who was going to play defense. I thought I was going to get a guy who knew the pick and roll. I thought I was going to get a guy who was a big shot maker in the clutch, but also can close games at the same time, too, and also can stay healthy. I didn't get none of that. He didn't get none of that. Giannis didn't get none of that. Yeah, but it was cohesive. You know what I'm saying? Was there some things that Giannis could have did a lot better? Of course, last season, yeah. Of course, we know that he was hurt too, though. We know that both of those guys, you know what I'm saying, they had injuries. But Giannis is back. Okay, he's back. He's 100%. We're starting off the season new. It's a new year, new season. You know what I'm saying? And a brand new mindset. Now the winning mindset is still the same. The winning mindset is still the same. It's always been there. But I think with Dame, and I hate nah, fuck that. I don't hate it. I gotta be real. I gotta say it. He brought a loser's mentality to the Bucks. Okay. I know some of the LDBC brothers might disagree with me. I know they might say, "Oh, nah, that's not true." I really feel that way. He brought a loser's mentality to the Bucks. Because I mean, think about it. What did Dame accomplish? I mean, okay, yeah. he made it to a Western Conference Finals. You know what I'm saying? And that was about it. Other than that, he was always used to playing hero ball and all that other nonsense. You know what I'm saying? That really never got him nowhere. Giannis was used to capitalizing in the moment. Giannis was used to taking advantage of the moment. You know what I'm saying? Okay, he only got one championship. It's one more than Dame. And like I said, I'm not trying to make this a shit on Dame party. That's not what I'm here to do. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to make a point because I told people that this was not going to work. It wasn't that I didn't want it to work, but I sat there and I watched Dame. I sat there and I watched Giannis. Those are two completely different mentalities. Plus, on top of that, Dame had a lot of personal shit that he was dealing with. Dame had a lot of personal shit that we were dealing with. The nigga Ticket had brought that up. I think he did a live on it once or twice about that, right? And everybody wanted to, get all sympathetic and empathetic when he was going through what he was going through, with the whole divorce thing and stuff like that. But I was with Ticket 100%, okay? In that regards, there's a lot of people dealing with a whole bunch of other shit, and I understand that we can't tell somebody how to think, feel, how to be when a situation arrives. But what I will say is that you signed up to play this sport. You're coming into an organization, a brand new organization. You knew what you had on your plate. You knew what was at stakes. So you can't turn right back around and be like, okay, well, I got this going on, or I got that going on, and then try to make all these different excuses. No, it don't work like that. There's plenty of people that are going through things much worse. And me myself, I just don't have a lot of room for excuses on anything because when a curveball happens, you have to know how to deal with that. And that's going to happen. Life still goes on even when these guys are playing basketball. There's a lot of stuff going on with a lot of different players or whatever. So that's why I didn't really have that much as much sympathy for a Dame like that. You know what I'm saying? Because okay, you're going to go to Portland. Okay, what are you going to do? You're going to do the same thing that you did when in your first tenure in Portland, which is to be this dynamic scorer and play hero ball and stuff like that. And then next thing you know, y'all be out of the, either the first or second round or even be lucky even just to make the playoffs or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Oh, Dame, he's great. Yes, he's a tremendous player. You know what I'm saying? But me, myself, like I said, he was holding Giannis back. He was holding Giannis back. Now, I know what some people are going to say. They're going to be like, well, if Giannis doesn't win a championship or the Bucks don't make it or some shit like that, right? They're going to be like, oh, well, straight to the point. I guess, Giannis didn't make it. I guess he did need Dame or something like that. No, that ain't the case. Because Giannis was successful without Dame. You know. Also, it's going to be interesting. I know that they got rid of Brook Lopez. Now, Brook Lopez is over there with the Clippers and everything. I felt like that move, it did need to be made. They did need to get younger. They did need to get fresher. Just that's rewind. I look at the Bucks. We had kind of the same problem. The Milwaukee Bucks had kind of the same problem. We were trying to move on from this old roster full of beat up motherfuckers on there. You know what I'm saying? And try to get some young, fresh talent in there who could who had good attrition, who could stay healthy, stay on the floor, and actually carry us to where we needed to be. You understand? Brown Sugar, I see you in here, sweetie. Salute to you. Shout out to Brown Sugar. That's what we talk about, resilient. That's just like what Giannis is. He's resilient. You know what I'm saying? If anybody could tell you about resilient, that's brown sugar. But like I said, we had kind of the same problem. We're understanding now that Joel Embiid is a liability. Okay, yes, he had 25 points, but he nearly cost us the game yesterday. Okay, and I'm gonna talk about that in just a second. But I'm gonna keep on, expounding, talking about Giannis and his greatness. Giannis is very underappreciated. He's very underappreciated. He's overly criticized and underappreciated. Let me say that again. He's overly criticized and underappreciated. Okay? Dame is overrated. Okay? He's overrated and he gets overappreciated, and he's overhyped. He hasn't accomplished anything. Not like Giannis has. Has he accomplished? Is he talented? Yes, he is. Can he hoop? Yes, he can do all that. Jumping out of the gym, all that other stuff. But after that, what do you have? But with Giannis, he has all of those things. He might not have the greatest shot in the world and all that other stuff. But this is the case that I always wanted to make about Giannis too. This is another thing, you know what I'm saying? And I've gotten into it with multiple people about Giannis. You know what I'm saying? I stand 10 toes down on Giannis. Brown Sugar know that for sure. Okay, Cheyenne knows that for sure. I stand 10 toes down when it comes to Giannis, right? You don't need no damn shot. You don't need, everybody wants to sit up here and say, oh yeah, he got to shoot 3 pointers. Brown Sugar has said this about Giannis. I know she likes Giannis too. Listen, if you could take that motherfucker to the cup all day long and you can't stop it, what I'm going to sit up there and have you shooting jumpers all day for? Okay, he tried to work on it. The only thing that you could do is give him props for trying. He's been in the lab with Hakeem Olajuwon. He's been in the lab with KG. He's been in the lab with multiple guys trying to get stuff right. Will it ever work? Maybe not. But if we're gonna go by that logic, right? If we're gonna go by, oh, he ain't never got his shot right. He can't shoot this. He can't shoot that. He can't shoot no 40 footer. He can't shoot a 15 footer and all this other stuff. He can't shoot free throws. Well, if we're gonna go by that logic, then we got to go back and we got to go take a look at Shaquille O'Neal for an example. Okay, Shaquille O'Neal. What did he say? I may not hit him throughout the stretch of the game, but I hit him, you know, when they need to count him or when they need to be hit. I hit the free throws at the right time. LeBron James, who everybody crowns the king and all this other stuff. He's not no good free throw shooter, especially when it comes to the clutch situations and stuff like that. And then everybody wants to make it seem like he's just a dynamic shooter and all this other stuff. I mean, does he shoot a little better than Giannis? Yeah, of course he does. But y'all like uh, Giannis, him not having a jumper, it makes his game atrocious. Giannis has been known to shoot and make them every now and then. But my problem with that is that, man, you do what you want to do. Don't let other people influence you. You know what I'm saying? If they say that you ain't got no jumper or whatever, I guess I'll just be a no jumper having motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? But guess what else I bring to the table? Look at what other qualities I bring to the table that has made me successful. It's just like you keep on doing what made you successful. You know what I'm saying? If you stop doing what made you successful, then guess what? You're not gonna oh, he can't do this and he can't shoot and all this other stuff. He running people. I mean, if we're gonna go by that logic, let's go ahead and let's talk about Joel Embiid, right? You do all this scoring and all this other stuff or whatever, but you can't never play 60 games. Somehow, some way, you can't play 60 games. But the great Michael Jordan had got on there letting you know he wanted to play 80 something games. He did not want to miss no games. But Giannis, he doing everything he can to play in every single game. That's why he gets out of out of the awards and stuff. You know why? Because he's eligible, because he's there for his team. He's doing everything that he can to get on the floor. They had to stop him when he hyperextended his leg in the conference finals. I want to say it was the conference finals that year. They had to stop him from going back on the floor, and we're talking about a hyperextension. If you saw that injury, man, ooh, it was nasty. It was nasty. Salute to the general in the building, brother. 78 Sports TV. Definitely go sub to his channel. Without 78 Sports TV, there is no LDBC. Salute to the head honcho in the building. But like I said, they had to stop him from going on the floor. That's the type of passion that you need. And everybody talks about why some of these players are heavily criticized and stuff like that, is because they don't have no passion or no have any passion or desire or anything like that. Michael Jordan, from just talking to him yesterday with Chris Collins, you could still see the fire and the passion, and you could see it in his eyes. Everybody talk about, oh, he got jaundice and something wrong with his eye. No, that's fire in his eyes. That's fire in that dude's eyes, man. You know what I'm saying? It's like, Rick James and Tina Marie. Fire, baby. Fire and desire. And you got to have that shit when you step on the floor. And that's what Giannis got. Dame don't got no fire and desire. He don't have that. And God bless him. I wish him well with the blood clot situation, because we don't want any other guys losing their life. But at the same time, man, when you are healthy, that's so. With that being said, man, salute to Giannis. Still got what? It'll be what, 70? Well, now it'll be 78 more games. No pun intended, 78. 78 more games to go. Okay, so salute to him, and he's on track to get that MVP. Like I said, he's averaging 36, 14, and 7, and just coming off of 37 last night. If I'm gonna give my props to, guys like Maxey and Edgecombe and the Sixers, and we 4-0 and all this other stuff, and the Spurs being 4-0, we got to look at some of these other teams too. Victor Wembanyama being the MVP candidate, SGA being the MVP candidate, Maxey being a possible MVP candidate. Hell, Austin Reeves being a possible MVP candidate. You know what I'm saying? I know some people might disagree with that shit. You know what I'm saying? Giannis, everybody. We got to talk about some of these other teams. But salute to Giannis, though. Now, let me talk about Bona for a minute. Adem Bona. Okay? Now, last night, we came back and overtime, and we ended up destroying the Washington Wizards. Now, at first, the Wizards had an edge. I mean, going into the fourth quarter, it was like 5 minutes to go. You would have thought that our young Sixers squad was gonna give up. That I was like, damn, man, classic Sixers. They finna go ahead. They finna just lose the game. They finna just get it out of reach or whatever. But it was a combination of two people. It was a cohesive thing. but I got to give my credit to Adem Bona. Okay, now his stats, they're not gonna just wow you. You know, you're not gonna be like, oh my god, he had 20 rebounds and no shit like that. It was his defensive presence and his key cleanup moves that he was making around the basket in terms of his rebounding and just having a block party with the Wizards and being just an intimidating force on the rim protection side of things that saved that game. Adem Bona is not getting his credit. I know what people gonna trip out when I say this. Adem Bona is looking like prime Dikembe out there. If you haven't watched this dude, you need to go watch this dude. Adem Bona, okay, about 6'11", you know what I'm saying, is a monster. A straight monster and a straight imposing his will out there. And to me, that's okay. Maxey, he had 39 points. He was cooking without a doubt and hit some key shots. But we're going to need Bona in the end. And I'm talking about at the end of the season. And even when we get in the playoffs, we need plays like those. Because, yes, we can score. Maxey can score. Edgecombe can score. Oubre can score. What's it called? Of course, we know Embiid can score. Jared McCain, when he get back, he can score. Grimes can score. All these guys can score. Barlow can score. All these guys can score. But can you get the stoppage? The intimidator, man, that's what you want. I don't need. That's what I was saying about Aiden, right? Aiden could be so much of a force if he was doing the shit that Bona would do, which is being an intimidator, a rim protector, and on top of that, a cleanup guy as well as a lob threat. Because that's another thing about Bona too. He's a lob threat. He plays like a Dikembe Mutombo who has a better lob threat mentality. And on top of that, if that bitch come off the rim, you best believe Bona is gonna get that shit. And that's what I like about him. We have a young squad right now that's energetic in the fourth quarter. That has always been our problem, man. Is that going into that second half and that fourth quarter? Nick Nurse has said that. Right. That's what I want. You go look at some of the greats, um, that played in the front court. They were intimidators, especially and intimidators, rim protectors, and on top of that, a force on the glass, cleaning up in the fourth quarter. You look at Dennis Rodman making key defensive stops and plays. I think about the '96 finals. You think about Dikembe Mutombo that year when he was with the Nuggets, blocking like 4, 5 shots at one time. You look at Hakeem, man, getting the stoppage uh, against some of the better teams like a San Antonio, like a Utah Jazz and stuff like that. You you look at like an Alonzo Mourning who's opposing his will. Okay, he might have got caught by Shaq or something like that, but still he's still coming at you defensively. You know what I'm saying? Not giving up. I mean, this dude was all over the glass, all over the floor, and we need guys like that, just riding and dying. Joel Embiid, he wasn't doing that. Matter of fact, man, he got mad when Marvin Bagley III dunked on him. And then he ended up elbowing Marvin Bagley III. Now, I'm not sure that he did that on it was intentional, but I'm going to say this about Embiid. He almost cost us the game. Yeah, he had 25 points, but his 25 points wasn't impactful like that. It just wasn't. But it was Bona. He was the one that was impactful. Because just when you thought that you were going to make a shot in that going into that fourth quarter, and then we were able to capture that lead because we ended up beating them 139, 134, some shit like that. And that's what I like. Look, kudos to Maxey for scoring and stuff like that. But I'm pretty sure Maxey loves the fact that he got a guy in the front court that, okay, yeah, he gonna get that block, possibly get that ball or whatever, and get it to him and get it up the floor. We're playing with so much energy, man. And a lot of people they looking like, oh man, it was just the Wizards. Hey, the Wizards been beating some teams. Yeah, y'all like the Wizards. The Wizards, they might not have that superstar yet. Even though I like Sar, I think he's starting to, you see some things in him. But they might not have no superstar, like a SGA or like a Luca or what I'm saying, or Maxi who's emerging into a superstar, stuff like that. But they got a collective of guys that are out there just playing hard. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I appreciate about the Washington Wizards. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, let me try to watch it, because at first I wasn't gonna watch the game. I really gonna watch the game. Oh yeah, sugar. DMV all day. Look, she DMV. You like, look, don't talk down on that. Representing that DC. Yeah, I know. Washington Wizards, man, they showing a lot of promise, and it was a great game. I mean, like I said, we went to overtime. We went to overtime with them, so it was a nice physical game, and I like games like this because we're being battle tested. We're being battle tested, and it's gonna get harder. It's gonna get harder as the season goes on. They're 4-0, but that's not necessarily an easy thing, because it's like, okay, you one of the better teams. Let's see how you are. Just like people gonna be coming at the Spurs. Just like, hey, they gonna start coming at the Bulls. Yeah, like of all people, we mentioned in the Bulls. We Josh Giddey, punk ass. But besides that, man, salute to Bona. I think that he can make a case. If he keeps going the way that he's going, he could possibly be in the running for all defensive. I don't know which team, but the way that he's playing, he's an intimidator, man. Intimidator, straight up, rim protection. He's becoming a rim protection guy. You know what I'm saying? And man, I just like it, especially at the at the end of games, man. Yeah, it's okay you get that shit in the beginning of the game and stuff, but can you make key blocks at the end of the game? And that's what I got to give Adam Bona his credit on. Now, this last situation, man, I got to get into, and this is off the subject from basketball and sports, but I want to talk about this situation, man, that's going on with both Walmart and UPS. Now, earlier, I did a live earlier talking about the situation that happened at Amazon. We know that what's all about to happen here in the next day or so. Uh, we got SNAP benefits about to be cut off. We got Amazon that just laid off 30K people from their job. We got the shutdown. People don't lose their job. People at food banks. People trying to do everything to get some sort of assistance. They don't know where their next meal is going to come from. The TSA people did not get paid. They didn't receive a check. This was the first check that they were supposed to receive. They didn't get a check. Okay, and we talking about people that we talking about the aircraft, man. Aircraft protection. You know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that. That and that's not an easy thing to do. They didn't get paid. Okay, now we talking about over 48,000 people losing a job at UPS. Okay, and now it was just said that Walmart is on a 3-year hiring freeze. 3 years. 3 years, man. They on a 3-year hiring freeze. right? So what does that do? What does that do? What position does that put people in? Like I said earlier, we got to pay attention to shit like this. Okay, pay attention to shit like this and learn to maneuver. And like Brown Sugar, sodas, chicken sodas, a few other brothers around here. Y'all got to be self-sufficient, and work on self-preservation too as well. A lot of people they're used to they're used to being so dependent on every single body. You said, I hope people know how to hunt and fish. I'm gonna be in the woods. It's deer season. Yeah, exactly. Know how to hunt and fish. And see, you got women out there. Oh, I don't want to do that. I don't want to mess up my hair, my nails, all this other stuff. Nah, you should want a woman. You know what I'm saying? That knows how to fish. That knows how to hunt. She know how to do. You know, she's a warrior just like you are. You know what I'm saying? But you, of course, you want the man to be front line. But to have a girl right next to you. I mean, have a woman right next to you. You better have right next to you. You know, riding and die for you. That's true ride or die shit. But I'm not trying to get too off the subject. 48,000 people. That, like I said, in the grand scheme of things, that might not seem like a lot, but it is, especially for uh, for UPS, because don't forget, UPS had already had a massive layoff. They had already had that. Now everybody's like, "Oh well, don't worry, they're gonna bring them in." Shoot, that's not guaranteed, because guess what? Guess what's starting to take over? AI. And check this out when it comes to AI, right? Talk about artificial intelligence. Talk about robots. Okay, them robots, they don't get tired. I mean, shit, you know, the battery might go out or some shit like that. The shit, that could be replaced, just like your ass could be replaced. Right? Let's keep going. Robot, they don't get tired. Okay? Robots don't call in. Robots don't get sick. Robots don't make no excuses. Robots can speed up the pace without stopping. You think your ass ain't expendable? You think your ass ain't expendable? You think that they're like, oh, okay, well, shoot, you know what? Jerome, he always calling in. He always sick. Man, he always making our numbers go down. He's always impacting us. Man, he always got this excuse, that excuse. You know what? Let's go ahead and we'll get our robot up in here. Jerome, you out of here. Our robot done made the numbers shoot up. Our robot done increased the company revenue. Our robot done made us done made a valuable asset to this corporation. You know what? We gonna get a whole bunch of our robots in this motherfucker. Y'all don't want to hear that though. Oh nah, man, this is always gonna happen to me. I'ma always have this. I'ma always have this assistance. What if they cut it off? Just like they cut your job off. Just like they cut your benefits off. You know what I'm saying? People up in here, they want to pop out babies and all this other stuff just to get assistance, stuff like that. Shit, man, listen. They are not playing with nobody with people anymore. And guess what? You think they care? Listen, here's the truth about it, right? Here's the truth. Congress and them, like I told my brother Cypress TV, Congress and them, they still getting paid. They still getting the check. They still getting their money. They still sleeping good at night without stress or worry in the world. You know, pillows feeling good, blankets feeling good and stuff like that. But guess what? You got to worry about where your meal coming from. You got to worry about, man, damn, should I go up in Walmart or whatever and bust through them doors? Go get this if I'm allowed to or whatever. You know, go get this. Should I go steal some food? You know what I'm saying? Should I get a big old basket? You know, stuff like that. Got the rent due. Got Thanksgiving coming up. Got Christmas coming up. It's cold. Temperatures gonna drop. Come on. But we focus on other shit. We focus on look. I know we had fun with the verses and no limit. You know what I'm saying? Cash money. It was fun. Look at the crowd though. Lot of the people in the crowd, they not gonna admit it, right? They not gonna admit this shit. They not gonna admit, man, damn, I'm at this verses, but that money I could have used for something else or whatever. You know what I'm saying? They not gonna admit that. Some people may have not known the song, but a lot of people they probably they jamming. You know what I'm saying? They probably saying make it say oh get your how the fuck I'm gonna pay rent? These motherfuckers that's on stage, they rent is paid, their mortgages is paid. They car payments is paid. They children in college. You know what I'm saying? They tuition is paid for. They ain't got no care in the world. They ain't worried. They could catch flights. They could take vacations, all this other stuff. Hell, you just spent your hard-earned money. You spent your hard-earned money to go see a versus or whatever, and you probably ain't even gonna be able to shake Pete's hand. You ain't even gonna be able to shake Mia X's hand. You ain't even gonna be able to shake Manny Fresh hand. Ain't even gonna be able to touch Birdman. You know what I'm saying? But you spent all that money or whatever. You got your cell phone and stuff like that, and then you done probably traveled there. Oh, I got to see him and all this other stuff. Now you gotta get back home. It's like, damn, back to the bullshit. Your benefits is cut off. Your job is gone. Distraction, man. Distractions. And we gotta focus on the real shit, man. There are people out here that are about to lose their mind. They're already getting on social media, which I think is stupid. Shouldn't be out there trying to plot on social media, talk about, oh yeah, I'm gonna steal groceries and all this other stuff. You think they gonna let y'all do that shit? Hell no. They ain't gonna let you do that shit. So like I said, man, we gotta wake up, man. They are on a hiring freeze for a reason. They are letting people go for a reason. They are snapping these benefits for a reason. Think about it, what it called? Snap. 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 Think about what that means. Snap. Think about it. Things happen quick. You can lose your life quick. Snap. You can lose your job quick. You lose your car quick. Snap. Lose your food quick. Snap. But what I'm saying is that you can lose your stuff quick, man. Snap. Just think about it. Like, share, subscribe, hit them notifications too. Straight to the point, sports and entertainment. I'm out.